Okay, if everything has gone according to plan, we should be live on YouTube. Welcome, everyone, back to Weekends with Avrona. It's been too long. Way too long. But in case you didn't notice, I was away for literally a month. First in Poland, and then later I was away at IFA 2025 in Berlin, which was a very interesting show. If you've never been to IFA, or if you've even never heard of IFA, because it does very much get overshadowed by the likes of CES, obviously, and Computex. It's a weird show. It's a very weird show. It's closer to CES than Computex. It's massive for once. I mean, just Google, search up Messe Berlin, which is the place where it's called on Google Maps, and see how big it is. There's pretty much something happening in every single hall you see there. It's massive. And then you have like 2 or 3 entire halls dedicated to just like, I don't know, kitchen appliances. Another hall that was just pool cleaners, right? And every single year, okay, I say every single year, I've heard anecdotal evidence, and also I've seen it by just going this year and last year. It's becoming a lot less about the computers and the gaming and whatnot. We didn't even get MSI. They were like pretty much the only one of the big computer companies that were there last year. They weren't even there. They just had like a separate show in a hotel nearby, which is kind of where I filmed some of the stuff there. You've probably seen that short about the Prestige laptop go up. I think I have a couple more videos planned from the MSI event. But yeah, it's a very weird. IFA is a very weird show, and it's very difficult to describe. But they do also do some awesome stuff, and we'll be doing a bit of a live unboxing here, by the way, because they also gave me this because I'm a influencer or something, and they were just giving away what they call like a special merch drop to influencers and creators that were invited. So let's actually unbox this and see what we get. We do have already some stickers, nice glittery ones. Prepare for the unexpected, it says. Yeah, I know what to expect from IFA. Every single company is just going to be saying AI all over again. It's not unexpected. We all know it's just more AI stuff. Okay, but there is something here. I'm actually kind of concerned. The audio is probably going to be fantastic. Okay, let's see what this is. Could it be a mug? I mean, shape, like size-wise, I think it could be a mug if you just look. Guess what? It's a mug. It is with the kind of original IFA logo though. That is pretty awesome. I do like the design of it. It's kind of very retro. Makes sense given how the show itself was, first started in 1924. This show has been going on I won't say non-stop since 1924 because, well, it's set in Berlin, and Berlin was kind of busy between the years of 1939 and 1945, but after that, and then of course there was another pause for COVID. So okay, it wasn't running non-stop, but still you get my point. It's been running for a very long time, and I still like that they're using a kind of old logo design. That is cool. That is a neat. I kind of wish I made my drink in that now, but like I said, I wanted to save that for the video to see what they actually gave out to creators during the show. And the stickers, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these stickers. I have like a giant bag of stickers from like products, from events, stuff like that, and I'm just piling up to one day stick on something. I don't know what it is, but like I want it to be permanent, at that point. I don't want to, stick these on my PC case because that is probably going to change. I want to save all these stickers and then stick them somewhere where I can just enjoy them forever, basically. But anyway, like I said, I wanted the show to be a bit of a recap of what's been going on with IFA, but also a bit about some other stuff that's been going on. And there is actually one kind of announcement I need to make. I said announcement, but like one very important PSA that we should probably talk about first and foremost before we get into all of the IFA stuff. And basically, if I just show you what I'm talking about, I got an email from YouTube the other day about the rollout of a feature called a YouTube Hype, which you may have heard about. Why can you see 2 of me? That is too many. That is actually scary. Why is it not working? There it is. Cool. So they're launching a feature called YouTube Hype, which you may have heard about already. They've been teasing it for a while now. But, I mean, this article was actually originally posted in September of 2024, I just noticed. And only now they are really, really making it an actual thing and rolling it out. It's not available everywhere, but in your usual suspect countries, US, UK, most of the EU, Canada, those kind of places, it is already available. The way it works, and from what I can tell, you can only do it in the YouTube app on mobile. You can't do it from desktop, which again, why are you, like, I know why they're prioritizing features like this for mobile, because a lot of people use it, but like, come on, how much effort does it take, especially for such a big company, to bring these over to youtube.com, which is still a major source of views. Like, you can't, by the way, you still can't change the thumbnail on shorts on the web version. How long have shorts been a thing? You still can't do it. You have to go into the mobile app, and then you select a frame from the video that you want to be the thumbnail there. Why? But anyway, the way Hype works is that it's a feature for creators between 500 and 500,000 subscribers, as a way to essentially boost their videos, as a way of, helping smaller creators in theory. In practice, what I see it as, basically, creators that have more than 500 subscribers competing with creators that have almost 500,000 subscribers. Like, those are in a pretty big different league, and I would have personally made the cutoff point for this be 100k. Like, once you get a silver play button, no more YouTube handouts. You're fine. You don't need more help. But I should probably explain how it works first. Basically, viewers can hype videos to basically then promote them and make them more visible. And there will be basically hype rankings for each country. So you may have noticed that YouTube have actually gotten rid of the trending page. And this seems like it's going to be the natural successor, where you're going to have, well, okay, you already had trending per country, but now you're just going to have this hype page per country, where it's going to be exclusively channels under 500,000 subscribers, and it is not going to be depending on how many views the videos get or anything like that. It's going to be purely dependent on how much people, individual viewers, are going to hype those videos, how much they're gonna, I think it's probably similar to stuff like nitro boosting on Discord. Probably there's like some Twitch, is it bits on Twitch? I actually don't know. I don't use Twitch. I don't care about the platform at all. They probably have some version of it. But the way it works here is that you're going to get three free hypes per week. That's what they said in an email. So I'm guessing after that you can probably still hype videos more, but you're going to have to pay for it. So you get these free hypes, and if you hype a video, which again you can only apparently do from the mobile app, then you help that video get trending in a given country's page. So again, it's not by creator size, which again I'm kind of concerned about, because you can have people who have 500 subs compete against people who have 499,999, which I think is a tad unfair. So, but to really make it work, they're at least doing it per country. So if you are in a country that has a lot less competition, for example, that could be very good. But of course, it also means that it's kind of weird, because most channels, unless you're doing stuff in your, basically, unless you're doing stuff in English, then you're probably just kind of focused on, your own audience in your own country. Okay, I guess if you're doing something in Spanish or French or Portuguese, then I guess there's some leeway in what countries you're doing the content for. But if you are doing your content in English, which is what most people do content in, then you'll be still restricted to only getting on that hype page for your country. So you're still kind of losing out on the audiences from other places that will still probably understand your content. But still, it's at least something they're doing. It's at least something. And this right here is all out of date. Turkey, Taiwan, and Brazil of the beta test. Yeah, again, it's like a lot more countries at this point. I don't think I have their full list here, because again, this is like when they first teased the feature over a year ago. But this is basically a PSA that if you can, please hype the videos as they go up. So you can hype up to 3 videos for free a week, and you can only do it for videos that are less than 7 days old. So again, if you like what we do here, then please consider using your hypes on the videos on this channel as they go up, because it will really go a long way in really helping bring more eyes to this channel. Hopefully, in theory, we still really have no idea how this is going to work or how game changing it'll be. They're saying it's game changing because it's YouTube. Of course, we don't want to say it as they're giving this big opportunity to smaller creators, but in practice, how it's going to actually work, is it going to actually make a difference? We don't know. That is why, you know, it's important to try and get as many of these hypes as possible to hopefully finally, you know, get more people onto this channel, more people discovering this channel, because YouTube ain't doing that. YouTube just ain't pushing it at all. So if you can hype it up, again, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Okay, shameless plug. Shameless plug over. That's just kind of what I wanted to explain about how this new hype system works, in case you were curious about why what it is, why you've been hearing about it, and why the trending page has gone away. That is basically what that is going to look like. But anyway, now let's go over to the main event, and that is going to be IFA 2025. Now, let's start off with Samsung here. Samsung, one thing I don't get, right, is that the whole presentation isn't actually available. I'm just noticing that the whole Samsung page here is kind of weird. Like, you're only getting... definitely not all of them. Like, you only get like the last couple of unpacks and then some like random stuff that's like 5 years old. Like, why? But anyway, you don't actually get a replay from the event. This here, where it says official replay, that's a lie. It's only 21 minutes, and it is nothing like the presentation we were actually shown in the halls there at IFA Berlin. This is a completely different presentation. We weren't shown any of these clips in the audience. So the way it like I don't know why they split up like this. Why they didn't just stream what was being shown at IFA like they usually do. So none of these clips I recall seeing at all at the main event. What on earth is this? Okay, so we should probably talk about what they did reveal. Now, that being the S25 FE, which we all knew they were coming, which we all knew was coming. Looks pretty cool. The design, looks fine. It's, yeah, again, none of these clips were there. The clip they shown was from like a cafe, and people. Oh yeah, this one. This is what we've seen. This is what we. Okay, no. Okay, we just got this entire sketch, I guess you can call it, and you just got one single fragment of it. I'm so confused about how they did this presentation. I am actually even more confused watching whatever that was. But it is basically just an S25, but even cheaper. So that was fine, I guess. No one really cared. And one thing that you'd think they care about more is the Tab S11 series, which they didn't talk about that much, surprisingly. They talked about how it's like ultra thin performance. They talked about that, but they didn't really show too many reasons to actually buy it, if that makes sense. The whole segment was a lot shorter than I imagined. A long story short is that it's yet another slightly incrementally better Samsung Galaxy tablet. Now, tablets are a thing that I can't really get too excited about myself, because it's just a form factor I don't need. However, I gotta say, it does look pretty cool. Pricing wise, I'd say it's fair. I'd say it's fair pricing wise. If they just, can we just give the specs? Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Like the actual. Oh no, I didn't press pause. It's okay. Yeah. So the actual increases over last gen are minuscule, but they mostly focus on like AI features and Google Gemini integration, Galaxy AI, whatnot. It's just I can't summon enthusiasm for it, and to be fair, neither could they. it's just a cool new tablet, and that's it. And that was pretty much the only big two announcements from IFA. Just the S25 FE and also the Tab 11. There were some other things they're talking about, and okay, I'm really mad that I can't find a replay from the actual event anywhere, because as you can expect, there was a lot of talk about AI. And my favorite part is that they were kind of self-aware about it at this point. There was like this one product, I think it was like a bespoke AI dishwasher with AI clean with AI. It was like, there was a product that had AI in the name like 3 times, right? And they were kind of self-aware about it, because at the end, a guy came on and said, in this presentation, we said the word AI, I think 94 times. It was 90 something. I'm sure of that. I can't remember the exact number. So they were kind of self-aware, and I kind of wanted to make a joke about it, but again, I can't find a replay anywhere. The presentation was just fully AI, and it was mostly just AI appliances, AI fridges, AI laundry machines. They had like an AI vacuum cleaner, which was pretty cool for the fact that it kind of could walk up steps, kind of. That was cool. Again, I would love to show you it, but again, there was no replay from the event itself for some reason. And if you're wondering about the specs of the S25 FE, there they are. Again, it's basically just a cut-down version of the S25. Pretty cool. Has a pretty good starting price if you just need a good current-gen phone. Cool. I really wish we had S25 Edge. You know, if we had like a proper S25 Edge with a curved screen, that'd be awesome. I still really hope they bring it back. That being like one of the coolest features of my now aging S23 Ultra, and it will always feel as a downgrade to me going back to a phone that doesn't have that. It's such a small thing, but it does make the phone feel so much more premium, and it definitely just looks a lot nicer than these bezels on modern Samsung devices. But anyway, I could talk about that for ages. Basically, the Samsung presentation was a bit of a waste of time, if not for the fact that they gave us something very special. You probably saw it, you may have seen a short that I did from it, but they gave us, on a theme of AI, Samsung gave us AI cookies at the event, or cookies that it claims were made by AI. What they had inside was, they were basically just like these basic cookies, but they were made with that Korean chili paste. You know the one I'm talking about. Why? Well, because the whole point of the presentation, and again, I'm going to sound like a mad person trying to describe this without actual replay, but the the ad/sketch that it accompanied was a guy was making chili sauce and he put way too much sugar in it. So he asked AI, "Oh, AI, what can I do with this mixture to not throw it away?" And the AI is like, "Oh, we can turn it into these delicious cookies. Let me generate a recipe for you." And that was kind of why they gave those cookies in the first place. So yeah, that's pretty much the Samsung press conference. Just some cookies and AI. The cookies were the highlight of the whole showcase. I gotta say. That was it. But still, it was pretty interesting going to my very first Samsung press conference. So that's a big tick, and hopefully it's not the last. But anyway, let's move on to another press conference, the very first one actually of the whole show, and that is the Acer one. Which, don't worry, this one's also pretty boring. So, as you can imagine, it was also mostly about AI. And Acer do a lot of things now. Acer aren't just the brand that you get laptops from. They do a lot of stuff. They do medical stuff. They do plenty of very weird niche products. So a lot of presentation was also about that. But also, Acer are very uniquely bad at press conferences at IFA. This year's and last year's were both awful in so many subtle ways. Not even subtle, obvious ways that you can just piled up to make them very uniquely bad. First off, they had the same host as last year, who always interrupts whatever guest they have on, and like just emphasizes random stuff for no reason, and it gets so annoying so fast. And I have no idea how they did not get rid of him after what a mess the presentation was last year because of him. Like I can't remember who he is. He's probably like a higher up at Acer, that they just keep on, even though he cannot present for the life of him. But the rest of the presenters aren't much better either, and there's this very weird lack of organization. Whenever they like move props on the stage and off the stage, it takes a while, and there's just very long awkward poses as they, take one demo unit off the stage, pull up another one. They are so uniquely bad. Go watch the new Acer press conference for IFA 2025 to see what I'm talking about. But they are actually, I can't believe that a company as big as Acer, a multi-billion-dollar company, can be that bad at presentations, like make at live shows. Whatever, the stuff they talked about is, well, mostly brand new laptops, Copilot plus PCs, because they haven't got the memo yet that I don't think anyone cares about if the laptop or not, if the laptop is Copilot plus branded PC or not. Granted, what they did show off was pretty cool. The brand new Swift Air is less than a kilogram. I was actually tempted to look into, seeing if maybe that could be a replacement for my aging LG Gram style. If not for the fact that it doesn't quite have the same resolution as my Gram style. And that's the annoying part. Even though that thing is quite a few years old now. I won't say quite a few. I think it's like two years old now. It's still using an Intel 13th gen CPU. So I guess 2 generations old. I think that's a better way of putting it. There is still nothing that beats it in every single possible spec, right? There are laptops that are thinner than it. That, even though that's kind of difficult, it is already like 1.2 something kilograms. It's extremely light, but like they don't have as high of a resolution. That thing is what, 3200 by 2000. That is a pretty high resolution for a laptop. And while there are laptops that have that kind of resolution, they are heavier. And obviously there are plenty of laptops that have much faster CPUs, which is one of the main reasons I want to upgrade, because it's kind of a bit slow. Again, they aren't as light. There are laptops that have more RAM than just the 32, but again, you usually sacrifice on the weight. There are laptops that have so many more ports, but there is nothing that has quite a combination of lightness and high resolution for the display that the LG Gram style has, and that's the annoying part. I want to upgrade, and even if I won the lottery and I could just have an unlimited budget for my next laptop, I think I'd still stick to the current one, because there's like nothing that could actually beat it on every single spec, and that is so annoying. But yeah, the Acer Swift S16 is kind of impressive. You had brand new Chromebooks, which including ones that you can just kind of use as a turnaround. Obviously, they're just promoting the fact that they have NPUs in all of them. Brand new preview PCs, which I don't think anyone cares about. But again, on the topic of the presentation being bad, the presenter was once again hyping up the fact that these pre-builds have 4 fans. They're saying, oh, guys, 4 fans, like maximum performance, maximum cooling, 4 fans. Like, yeah, like it has 4 fans like every single gaming PC from the last 15 years. And even then, that was kind of a lie, because they have more than 4 fans because of the additional AIO fans. So the person who was with him on stage showing out his pre-builds didn't even know their own products, because they didn't count the fans on the AIO, which like everyone always counts as fans. Even if they are part of the AIO, everyone just counts them towards the cases total. We had the brand new Predator Helios 18P AI, which I also made a short talking about how we even have like gaming laptops that are getting the AI treatment, that are getting AI in a name, which is just dumb. What else do we had? Yeah, the Acer Nitro XZ for a 3CKR, which is a pretty good looking curved display. Actually pretty cool, because it is 4K, not actually 4K, 5K. So the actual it's 2160p, but it's what was it, like 50? Yes, it's here, 51 by 5120 by 2160. So it is, it's ultra wide, but 4K. It's 180 hertz, which is pretty awesome. and you can get even more if you turn down the resolution. But again, I highly doubt anyone actually cares about having a kind of refresh rate or can tell the difference. I refuse to believe that there are people out there who can tell the difference, but at this kind of high refresh rates. And then also, this is something quite a few companies are doing. They are taking the basic NVIDIA GB10 mini AI PC and making their own branded versions of it. We saw Gigabyte do it at CES, not CES Computex, and now also Acer are doing their own. It's just like a cool little mini AI PC thing that just gives you like this one right there, one petaflop, and just like a very small thing. It's cool. And you can actually take a look at what it looks like inside at the show. I think that was pretty cool. Again, if you really care about running local AI models, it's a pretty decent little box, and you can just stack them up and have multiple. But that is pretty much everything from Acer. Again, it was the most interesting part about the Acer press conference was the fact that they are so uniquely bad at making press conferences despite the size of the company. And that's the one thing that just stuns me, that a company of their size can actually be that bad and just couldn't make good conferences. Like, someone had, like, did they just not tell the people who organize them that they're bad in case they hurt their feelings or something? I can't think of any other reason for it. But anyway, that's IFA. In terms of other stuff that you guys would care about, again, it's very difficult because IFA is a bit of a different show, and there wasn't too much for compute when it comes to computing, when it comes to gaming, outside of maybe Acer and Geekom were there. You've probably seen the video from their booth with the A9 Mega. That thing's pretty cool. It actually won one of the awards we had for the show because it looks like a Mac Mini. It's basically just a mini PC. It has plenty of performance. I actually spent half an hour there just benchmarking Cyberpunk 2077. I was really impressed with the performance for such a small form factor. And it has 128 gigabytes of memory. It is a mini PC with 128 gigs. Now, it is kind of weird the way it's split. So it's 32 gigs of memory going to just regular system memory, and the rest of it is reserved just for the GPU. You have 96 gigs of VRAM, even though it's not your traditional VRAM because it's not GDDR, it's DDR5. And one thing I'm actually not sure about, they didn't tell me, and I'm kind of curious. It will be kind of a make and break factor a bit for this system, and that's, can you reassign that memory yourself? Is it stuck at being split 3296? Or if you, for example, don't need 96 gigabytes of VRAM because you won't be running, complex AI models or simulations on it or whatever, then you can just move that to the system memory. That would be a pretty big thing because especially on, 32 gigs is kind of the new 16 gigs. It's the bare minimum, I'd say, nowadays. And for a lot of stuff, 64 gigs does very much come in useful, like in video editing. And even in my use case, I would honestly, 64 gigabytes is the bare minimum for my editing workflow. And obviously, because it's soldered onto the motherboard, you can't upgrade either. You can't go beyond 128 gigs. But again, I don't think, especially in this form factor, too many people would need to. But again, the main thing for me is, can you reassign the memory or not? Because that would be a kind of a big factor. Avery Turn Aviation says, is it possible to put my Windows 11 drive on Windows 95? What do you mean Windows 11? So like a boot drive, or do you want to put a? I'm trying to figure out, is it possible to put my Windows 11 drive on Windows 95? Like, do you want to put a drive with Windows 11 on it in a PC with Windows 95, or do you want to install Windows 11 on top of Windows 95? Like, that would be a pretty cool thing. I mean, there are like videos videos like that. I think I remember like watching a video that's like basically installing, upgrading from every single version of Windows up to the latest. That was a pretty cool thing. Like, modern game on 95. You can't play anything modern on 95, I'm sorry to say, because, well, pretty much anything like past, I don't know, like the year 2000 will probably not support Windows 95 at all, and then you'll probably be running into drivers as well. But anyway, where was I anyway? I was talking about how Acer can't do presentations. I was then talking about how IFA is just a weird show. And yeah, oh yeah, I was talking about the A9 Mega. A9 Mega, really, really cool. Basically, they just took the design of Mac Mini, but it does work when it comes to cooling. I didn't really see any kind of thermal issues. Oh yeah, the other thing I really wish it had is Oculink, or at least USB 5. It doesn't have either of those, which isn't like a huge loss if you won't be using them, but it would be pretty nice to have. I think they would help a lot as well when it comes to making it a more versatile PC. But anyway, to round up the show, I kind of want to go through. I came back to the UK just to find a giant mountain of boxes that I needed to just get through, because a lot of stuff had been sent, a lot of awesome unboxings and other projects are coming. So, as I usually do on Weekends with Avrona, I wanted to go through and show you some of the stuff you can expect in the coming weeks. Starting off, Corsair sent over the K70 Pro TKL. That's getting an unboxing. I'm still not a fan of TKL keyboards, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll find one that actually sells me on the form factor. G-Skill sent over quite a few goodies, including they got Trident Zero. Trident Zero Neo to be precise. I am so excited about these. I'm not sure if they're the gold or the silver ones though. I really, really wish it's the silver ones. The gold ones, I mean. They don't match my system at all or anything, but they are just the Trident Z Royals, man. They're just the absolute most like over the top blinky thing you can put in a PC. They make no sense, but they're awesome. But they also send something a bit more sensible over, that being the Trident Z5 Neos, the regular ones. They are really, really low latency. I think both kits are the exact same. They are CL28 kits. Yeah, so the DDR5 6000 CO26 kits, which they'll be getting. I'll be getting a bit more into benchmarking memory soon, which will be pretty awesome. They also sent over this thing called a Wigi Dash, in case you didn't know that G-Skill make other stuff. Like stuff other than memory. It is basically a little kind of panel that you can put next to your PC to control stuff. It's, you know the deal by now. You've seen products like this by now, and my biggest question will be like, how much sense does it make to get it from G-Skill over brands who have a bit more of an ecosystem to integrate and all of this into, like, you know, your Elgato's, your Corsairs that have kind of similar products, and so many other companies that do more stuff. It's gonna be interesting. Like, I'm going into this with a bit more of a negative mindset, but like I'm kind of also looking forward to that product potentially kind of positively surprising me. And there's one more. I think I may have saved the best to last. So I just got sent some headphones from these. And if you know anything about audio, you know that these guys mean business. And these are the LCD S20s. These, from what I've heard, are absolutely incredible. I mean, pretty much all of the headphones that these make are absolutely incredible, and these are the LCD S20s. I feel weird going into any kind of content to do with these, because these are the kind of stuff you would use in the studio, right? These are really high-end premium things. I think it costs like $500 or something. Actually insane. But like it's making content about headphones is very difficult enough, because you just have to hear how good they sound, right? And it's kind of similar with when I did the Status Pro X review recently. I can just say, yeah, they sound really good. And I could like show you graphs and stuff like that, but even then, I think those kind of obviously don't have the budget to make that kind of graphs, or the equipment to make that kind of graphs that really break down a lot of the science behind what makes it sound good. 2, I think this kind of graphs are just way too much detail for the average Joe, and a lot of people just don't understand or don't care about it, and don't care about the kind of nitty-gritty details. They just want to know, yeah, sound good, or boo, sound bad, and that's it. And so it's kind of difficult to make a whole video about, yeah, sound good, or yeah, sound bad, especially because, again, there's so much nuance to that, it's just so difficult to describe. And obviously, again, the best way to know whether or not you want a pair of headphones is by just listening to them, by just hearing yourself what the audio quality is like. So that's one thing. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I am very much looking forward to doing some content on these right here. That is going to be very, very special. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But anyway, that is going to be pretty much everything for this first Weekends with Avrona, back after so long. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like I was talking about earlier, make sure to hype my videos, please. This is a weird new system, and it's very important to get a good understanding of what it's like early, see what it's all about, and what kind of changes it can bring to the channel in terms of viewership. So again, that would be very much appreciated. Again, apparently from what I've read right now, you can only do it from the YouTube app on mobile. So if you are a sensible person who watches YouTube on desktop, whip out your phone and you can do it on there. But anyway, that is about it. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you did, make sure to subscribe. You can tell I haven't done this for over a month because I'm just stumbling over my words like that. If you liked it, then make sure to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Yes, it's time to let go. I see clear when I open my eyes. Know that your body's so cold. Drinking way too much now.